Do it.
Guys, in honor of the Omega Fist Tournament Week, I decided to review Infamous Second Son for the PlayStation 4. This is an exclusive game, and based on the entire Infamous series, if you guys own a Sony or PlayStation 4, have ever played it before, you know what that is. This actually is a different version of those games. This is actually based 7 years after the events of Cole McGrath. You know, pretty much the same thing going on here, where it's you know, platform based, and you have these powers that you pretty much inherit in some form or fashion. You're known as a conduit, which is the this universe's version of a mutant somehow, and this malicious military group called the DUP, who are trying to stop all the conduits in order to control the city because they feel that they're a threat. Well, in this case, Delson Rowe is the main protagonist of this game, and he just happens to be the biggest threat of them all because he has the power of power absorption, which means he can absorb any powers from any of the conduits and make them his own and use them multiple. So think of him as the urban version of the Avatar, pretty much, where he's the only guy that's able to do this, making him the biggest threat that the DUP has ever seen. And they're trying to stop him nonetheless. And at the same time, he's trying to stop them from taking over and controlling the entire, you know, city, pretty much, and all of the people that he lives with in his area as well. So it's him and his brother, Reggie, who just happens to be a cop, who's really conflicted as far as where he wants to, you know, be aligned with, you know, whether he wants to team up with his brother along the lines with these fugitives, or does he want to obey the laws of the DUP that's headed by Brooke Augustine. So, you know, think of Brooke Augustine as pretty much Amanda Waller with powers, and that's a very dangerous person to be. So you have that along the way. The gameplay is really cool, and you're able to utilize these powers in a pretty much a, you know, third-person brawler type of format. You can gain powers via like RPG style, where you gain these powers, but you can upgrade these powers to do more things with them and do some really spectacular things. And you can eventually gain the power to do one big super move on a ton of different military people that are attacking you. It's really cool. Again, with Infamous, the cool part about this is that you have a moral and ethics system to this, which means that you can go on the side of good and try to save people and try to not kill every single soldier or defeat every single soldier that you have, where you can go to the other side, or the dark side, for instance, and just pretty much go for broke on everybody. So you always have that option, which they've taken from the Knights of the Old Republic, you know, format, which is always cool. Troy Baker plays Delson Rowe, really good job. Of course, he does tremendous on everything. He's known for Batman Arkham Origin as Batman and a ton of other games. Brooke Augustine is done by Christine Dunford, who's also been seen in not only just voices of video games, but also been seen on TV shows as well. The other characters as well, Fetch, Eugene Sims, and Henry, who Delson actually goes around and meets and eventually absorbs their powers and tries to rather convince them to be on the side of good, or teach them to terrorize the entire neighborhood and utilize their powers for bad, ergo like Magneto style. So you definitely have that on the go. So the system's great in as far as that, and they do keep track of how good you do or how well you don't either, and then format to see which side you're going to turn. So which means there are two different endings as well. As I said, gameplay is really well done. It's really easy flowing, easy to control. The best part about it all, of course, is that you can play with your PS Vita. which also plays actually really well. Last games I played was UFC and WWE and Guilty Gear Zard. Guilty Gear Zard is perfect for the PS Vita, but also I think that yeah, Infamous Second Son also does a great job with it too. You do have to use the bottom motion pad, but it's really not that much. You don't have to utilize it or depend on it too much. So it's really a well done system. My only beef is that I wish they would actually have you know, the parkour physics on here is not as good as it was when they did Cole McGrath on its first 2 Infamous games. It really felt like he was doing parkour in those games. This one, it feels like the physics just not working when he's climbing up buildings and stuff. Now, maybe that's something they'll be able to fix, you know, if they choose to do this again. But I would say so far so good with this. There is also another, you know, side game that you can download on the PlayStation Network based upon one of the side characters, Fetch, who is the person who has the power of light. And if you ever get a chance to play that, that's pretty good too. And you pretty much do the same thing, but you get to learn her story and how, you know, she got into this to the mix of things too. All in all, I would pretty much say that this gets a B+/A-. Again, great game, great animation, the facial expressions and everything is well done, the dialogue is well done, the audio's really fantastic, and this is one of those games that you want to play if you get a PlayStation 4 first. You know, you really get that full PlayStation 4 experience. So definitely check out Infamous Second Son for the PlayStation 4.